Very good evening to everyone. Welcome to NTA UGC Net Paper 2 preparation for 2022 batch. Now, this is our lecture 4 for the topic management. We have already completed 3 lectures that is of management topic. So you can find the same in the link for the same in the description box. And today we are going to conduct lecture 4 for the topic decision making, wherein we will study the concept, the process, the techniques and tools. So before we start with the session, let's quickly have the look at the announcement of the batch, which we have already started from 1st of Jan 2022. Any students who are not aware about these, or the students who want to know in detail about the features and benefits of this batch, so let's see them in detail. So you'll be getting 100 plus video lectures covering all the topics. Each and every subunit, unit and subunit will be covered in the form of video. Mahamarathon will be conducted on each and every unit, which will be consisting of 100 plus MCQs. Notes in the form of PDF booklet will be given, which will be covering all the topics. For practice, you will be getting previous year solved question papers. Apart from that, mock test revision also will be conducted for the whole syllabus, which will be again covering more than 205 MCQs, 500 MCQs. The validity of the same will be for a year. The fees is rupees 5,000. You can download our global online university app with the help of Google Play Store, and you can just check the category management so you can get an idea about the product. And in case if you still have a doubt, if you want to clarify certain things, you can get in touch with the given WhatsApp number. So now let's start the concept for the day. So as you are all aware that we have already done a topic, that is management, in lecture 1. Then we have done functions of management in lecture 2, which we have already completed that lecture. Lecture 3 was consisting of communication topic, and now lecture 4 is basically on decision making. So let's have a look on the topic decision making. So decision making is basically nothing but a process where we have to identify a decision by gathering information and assessing the alternative resolutions. Now, when we make or when we go for a decision making process, obviously we need to keep alternatives ready, so that in case if our one decision does not work out, or we need to do certain we need to go for last minute changes, or we need to have a backup, it has to be with the help of alternative plans. It is a step by step process which helps to make a deliberate thoughtful decisions by organizing relevant information and defining alternatives. So this approach increases the chances of one, which will help to choose the most satisfying alternative possible. So basically decision making process is that process wherein you come up with the best alternative, picking up the best alternative in order to get in order to come up with the best decision for your organization. So let's understand how this process works. So we have the 7 steps, effective steps in which are involved in decision making. It starts with an identifying the decision, moving ahead to gather the information, then identifying various alternatives, weighing the evidence, choosing the most appropriate alternative, based on that taking the action, and then reviewing the decision, as which we have done with the help of the 6 steps. So how this steps goes one by one, let's see. So when we talk about identifying the decision, it helps to take, or it helps us to make a decision by clearly defining what type of nature of decision one needs to make. So it talks about the aims, objectives and scope about the decision, and this is the important step and as well as the basic step. Without this, we cannot initiate with the decision making process. Then second step is about gathering the information. So whatever decision we have decided to, the decision which we have shortlisted, based on that we have to collect some pertinent information before we make a decision. So like for example, what information is needed, what are the best source of collecting the information, how to get this information, all the steps are involved in order to get either the internal or the external things. Okay, some information can be internal, which we have to do in the form of self assessment. Some can be external, which can be availed with the help of some online source, certain books, certain from the people or from any other source. Next, once we are done with our information collection, then we have to identify the alternatives. So it goes with what? It goes with probably coming out with the best alternative or the best path of action by adding all the possible, imaginations, information in order to construct the best alternative, or to list out the best possible and desirable alternative. So here also you have to do a lot of brainstorming in order to come up with the best alternatives. Next step is to weigh the evidence. That is, based on the information available, we have to evaluate that, whatever decision we have taken, whatever alternative we have shortlisted, or whatever alternative we are going to use, or the information which you are going to use, is it into the right track or not? So this step will give you a a rechecking for your earlier three steps, whether the things are falling in place or not. Step number 5 is coming up, as we have already rechecked and we came up with an alternative option. We have to then now select, the best alternative option, which we have with the help of all the above 4 steps. We can even go for a combination of alternatives. Sometimes, you need to use certain combinations. So we can also think about these alternatives to be used in combination, and then we can come up with the final alternative, which will be supporting our decision, or which will help us to complete our decision. Step 6 is we have to take action. I meant to say we have to come up with the beginning or implementation or execution of the plan, of the decision which we have taken. And 6, that is after 6 step, the 7th step comes that we have to keep on reviewing the decision which we have implemented on a regular basis, a proper follow-up, a proper assessment, a proper evaluation, just to ensure that the decision which has been taken, which has been implemented, is giving us the expected results or not. Okay, or we need to have some, we need to explore some additional alternatives, or use some additional information. That is very, very important. Okay, so now coming up with the next topic is, when we had this process, now coming up with the next topic is the tools for decision making. So when we talk about the tools of decision making, here you can get some minor questions, so you have to be very careful about, the tools. Now, see, there are a lot of techniques and tools which an organization use in order to come up with the best decision, or, to ensure that the best tool is implemented in order to, take a decision. So let's see what are the various tools which are available and which can be used for decision making. So the first tool is the market research, wherein it is one of the essential tool, no doubt. The information is gathered. Okay, that is when one is gathering the information before taking a decision. So we do a market research before we take a final decision. It is nothing but analyzing the potential customers, or the state of the market, or the competition in the market, and using that as a strategic tool, we can come up with the right decision. So you're like, you have to go with a very micro level management, depending upon what your decision is related to. So if you're talking about any launching of any product, so, understanding who are the rivals, who are the competitors, what are the price, what is the price for the other products of similar nature, what exactly is the sales, which particular place, or which is the market segment you go for. So there are a lot of micro management things which you have to do, but you will definitely, with this help of this tool, you will come up with the right decision. Then going with decision matrix. So this is another tool which will help to critically analyze all the available options or alternatives for a particular decision. Now, these tools allow you to look at all the options and factors that can affect. So matrix, it means, it will not give you only one way. It means all the options, all the factors, all the aspects will be taken into consideration, and that will help you to go for a comparative analysis in order to take the best decision. So when you're listening to the lecture, I hope you are writing it down, all the important points. So like, for example, decision matrix. So decision matrix is basically, it analyzes, not only analyzes, but also compares. Okay, when we say market research, it helps you to ensure that, you are gathering the information before you take a decision. So there can be some minute words which will be used in order to prepare a question. So you should be able to understand the concepts very well. Again, talking about decision matrix, this is one of the most critical tool for most of the organization, it helps to reveal the best strategy in order to take the best decision. Going with the next is the cost benefit analysis. Now, by the word itself, you understand it. No, it will assess, it will take time to assess all the costs which are involved in the decisions, which will definitely beneficial for the organization. So before the entrepreneur or the organization goes with a decision, it will take into account all the overall net profits, and the sole objective of the organization is to make maximum profit, and for that cost benefit analysis will give them the best decision towards, towards their product, or towards the towards the decision making idea. Next, which we have is T chart. So this is another best tool which is used for comparative analysis. So along with decision matrix, you can have T chart, which will have, a best comparative analysis by understanding the pros and cons which are involved in an organization. It will help the entrepreneurs or the business owners to come up with a right decision by understanding the advantages and disadvantages of the available option. So when you are when you are denying a particular decision, you know the reason behind that denial. So that is because of what? That is because of your T chart. Then when we talk about SWOT analysis, we know very well what this word SWOT analysis acronym for SWOT stands for. It talks about weakness, strength, opportunities, and threats. So this particular type of tool will definitely give maximum, strengths. It will also consider the weakness. It will help us to understand how to, how the weakness can be result into threat, and how the strength can be result into opportunities. And by analyzing all the possible angles, the organization or the entrepreneur can take a decision for the same. Next one we have is Pareto analysis. It's called as the 80 principle, sorry, 80-20 principle. Now 80 is what input you're giving, against that, 20 is what the input you're giving, against that what output you're getting in the form of 80%. So this is one of the common rule, or it is also called as a Pareto principle, when the organizations make, utilize when the organizations make huge decisions. Now, this is inclined towards the prioritization, as I said, with respect to the 80 principle rule. Okay, 20 is your output, and 20 is your input, and 80 is your output. And this will also give a highest level of impact when it comes to, top priority of the decisions which you take. Next one which you have is feasibility study. So feasibility study basically, it indicates, the strategic planning. It tells you all the feasible options before you take a decision, which are, which are going to be helpful for a project. Before you launch any product or any service, it will help you to decide the strategy which is feasible for your product or for your organization. So when we conclude these tools, there are many tools, as we have seen, which can be used by the organization to come up with an effective decision making. But as we have mentioned earlier, there may be instances that the organization has to use various strategies, various combinations, in order to come up with what? In order to come up with the best decision by the use of best tool. So that depends upon which tool is used, and what is the, best decision, or which is the best decision which can result into the best I mean to say best decision making process, or best tool which can result into best decision making process for an organization. Coming up is next is famous techniques, because we have tools and techniques. So we are going to discuss three basic famous techniques which are useful for decision making. That is, one is your brainstorming, another is your nominal group technique, and then we have is Delphi technique. So when we talk about brainstorming, so brainstorming is basically a process in which negative feedback on any suggested alternative, okay, by any of the group members is forbidden. It is not accepted unless and until all the members have presented alternatives that will be perceived as valuable. So here it is carefully designed by encouraging all the group members to contribute more and more ideas towards the decision. It helps to evaluate the alternatives in all the best possible manner, from all the angles. And during this, the group members are encouraged to state their ideas, no matter how wild they seem, while an appointed member records, all the decisions for discussion. So it's like, best things which comes out, or best form of brainstorming in the form of best idea, which is, or best technique, which is, best idea which is produced, or wonderful idea which comes out, can be taken ahead, for the like, for example, in order to come out with the best decision making process. So this method is it's basically something which generates ideas, which shares the knowledge, which helps to solve the problem, in which the participants, that is the group members, are encouraged to think without interruption. So there is no, if any negative approach comes, so it has not been, it is not encouraged unless and until all the group members shares, their respective ideas, and they come up, whichever come up to their mind. So at the end, this particular process ends with, the best decision taking into consideration. Like for example, if we can tell, like for example, if you take an example in generating an ideas, just now we discussed generating an ideas. So what is the best idea which has, which involves all the solution for the problem, will be taken ahead, or will be proceeded with the next level. Next one we have is nominal group technique. So it is another technique which is useful for helping the group decision making. This is designed to ensure that each group member has an equal amount of participation in decision making. So it goes with normal steps. Like for example, first step, where each group member writes down the individual ideas on the discussed problem, or on the solution. Step two goes with every member presents the idea individually, orally, and the ideas are usually written on the board so that all the members can see it and you can have a look over it. Or step three, which is followed by all the members present their ideas, the entire group discusses those ideas simultaneously. Discussion trends to be unstructured and spontaneous. It depends upon the ideas which are listed down. And step four is when the discussion is completed, a secret ballot is taken where all the members are allowed to favor the ideas without the fear. So the ideas which receives the maximum vote, will be shortlisted for as in the final decision making authority. Then let's go for Delphi technique. That is one of the last technique in decision making process. So when we talk about Delphi technique, so Delphi technique basically involves circulating questionnaires on a specific problem among the group members, sharing the questionnaire results with them, continuing to recirculate and to refine the individual responses until the problem, until there is one common like consensus is reached regarding the problem. Common consensus is reached regarding the problem. So in contrast with nominal group technique or brainstorming, Delphi technique does not have group members meet face to face. So it can be, it is not necessary that here they have a face to face interaction. So here also we can follow certain steps. The problem is identified. Group members are told to list down the solutions for those problems. Anonymous responses to be carefully designed with the help of questionnaires. Responses of all the members will be compiled and sent out to the group members. Individual members are asked to generate, new ideas or solution to the problem which they have studied, with the help of individual responses of all the group members. And step 3 and 4 will be repeated unless and until they come up to with a common solution. So till then, this process will keep on happening. Now, to summarize all the three of them, I mean to say which techniques go for what. So brainstorming offers the advantage of encouraging the expressions as useful ideas, but disadvantage is the wasting the group's time on ideas that are which are very impractical. When we talk about nominal group technique, with its secret ballot, it offers a structure in which individual can support or reject an idea without the fear, but it comes in the form of disadvantage. There is no way of knowing which individuals voted for what, the way they did. I mean, so why individuals voted the way they did. So there is no way of finding it out. When it comes to advantage of Delphi technique, so sorry, here it is a small spelling mistake. So when we talk about so when we talk about just a second. So we talk about Delphi technique. So here just a small spelling mistake. So yes. So when we go for Delphi technique, it is that ideas that when we gathered from members which are too geographically separated or busy in order to get face-to-face meeting, but at the same time the members are unable to ask the questions to one another or of one another. So like, yeah, there are some restrictions which gets because of which the ideas cannot be clarified, or it cannot be discussed in detail. So this is what we have discussed with reference to decision making. As I told, the videos are very much compact so that you don't have to sit with lot of time every day with just, you can, from your busy schedule, you can just take out half an hour and keep on seeing the videos, and at the same time you can please keep on reading the theories, which will definitely help you to be in touch with your paper 2 along with your paper 1. And slowly when the exams are nearby, you can then focus more on your revision part. Okay, so that's all for the day. Next topic will be definitely on the new topic, which we are going to talk about, organization and structure, which is which is a part of one of the management topics. So see you soon with the next video. Till then, please keep revising, please keep learning, so that you can crack your exams very confidently with respect to paper 2 also. Thank you.